Well, I'm back at it, hardcore. I've been getting plenty of work in over the last 5 days or so since the Ottumwa Ice Bowl, but I've been careful. I've been practicing pretty light. I just took a little time to mentally focus. Of course, I worked out a lot. I got a lot of putting in during that break time. But I worked a lot on my forehand techniques. It's been horribly cold in Iowa, and coming off an injury, even though I think that I'm healed, I need to be smart. And so I've really focused on, like I said, a lot of working out, a lot of technique work, a lot of putting. Out of all the throws I've thrown, I imagine 80% of them have been right hand forehand throws, and it's getting better every day. I think if I could play the Ottumwa Ice Bowl again this coming weekend with the improvements I've made to my forehand, my place would definitely be different. First place, I'm not saying that. Second place, oh yeah, you bet. That's okay. I used where I slipped up and ended up in ending up in a third place position was great last week. I made the cut, and I guess that's great along those lines. I made the cut, but it was the fact that my putting, I knew my forehand was going to hurt me, but my putting cost me just as much. And I don't care how cold it was or how numb my hands were, I wasn't really keeping on my lines. I wasn't focusing on my midpoints, keeping the disc on the line. I was just getting it out of my hands straight on a bad angle, and it showed. So I've been really working on that, and I've actually had a really good putting practice this morning, which made me very happy. I've been putting outside in my garage to get used to the elements. I've been staying inside doing a lot of putting lately, and that probably hasn't been good. So putting outside now, try to toughen up a little bit. I'm at Hoyt Sherman, ready to get some driving work in. It's easy for me to adjust coming in for my max power, but typically where I have problems with technique is at max power. So I'm going to use the next couple weeks where I'm actually going to get a little more driving practice, or just as much driving practice in as I do fairway work, to kind of strengthen my forehand and to keep my right hand backhand distance where it's been. I feel like I'm throwing it just as far as I ever have. My right hand backhand game right now is the best it's ever been. So if I can continue to make my forehand game better, but still keep that left hand backhand shot in there as an option, especially for those higher lines, I think I'll be sitting pretty good as the season goes along. So far, the season is going really well. I'm playing great so far this year. So the hard work's paying off, but I'm far from done. I'm going to put this, the same work I've put in over the off season in throughout the entire season. That's just how you get better. I will not fall off. I'm just going to keep my foot down on the accelerator, and I'm going to keep moving forward. It's time now for me to get out, get some power work in, and get back into the warmth as soon as possible. What an awesome practice. I I am ecstatic how that went. My longest drive was with a forehand by about a foot. Right hand, backhand, right hand, forehand shots. For the most part, everything was pretty accurate. I had a little bit of turn on my forehands, which I expected due to the torque, and I had a few shots that I did turn over, but they're coming back. At the Ottumwa Ice Bowl, if 20% of it was only about 20%, 30% of my forehand max power throws were any good. A lot of them went into the dirt and cost me a lot of strokes. So I'm definitely improving. Things are looking up right now with the forehand game. My backhand game is better than it's ever been. So I feel like I'm right on track. The OPC is a month out, and I'm going to keep working hard. I'll probably drive just as much as I do practice fairway work over the next 2 weeks, and then leading up the 2 weeks coming into the OPC, I'll go back to, the standard type of practicing that I've been doing with driving practices 2 times a week and fairway practices 3 times a week. You might even see that I'm doing it pretty equally too. I'm a firm believer that, for me at least, max power lines, if I can hit max power lines and keep them nice and straight, it's easy for me to scale back in distance. So I'm really happy right now. My game is getting closer to where I want it to be. It's never going to be there. I'm never satisfied, but things are definitely looking up. Well, I just finished a long, drawn-out, exhausting forehand practice. And it kept getting better and better and better. I was dealing in the beginning with the typical inconsistencies that I've been having with this forehand, but I kept tweaking things and tweaking things and tweaking things. And finished the practice extremely strong. But I just kept making tweaks, and I started hitting lines that I haven't hit yet. Low shots, just a couple feet, 3-4 feet off the ground. Playing big skips, hitting little higher lines. My forehand game is really coming along. I'm longer than I was 3 days ago. I'm more accurate than I was 3 days ago. My distance control is better. One other huge problem I've had are shots inside of 100 feet. And tonight I was parking those. Just getting the touchdown, it's coming. And I'm sticking with it. The only thing that I've noticed I can't do are the higher lines. I can still throw a backhand, left-hand shot. Adding this forehand shot to my game is I think it's proving out to be huge. Whether it's forehand hyzers, straight shots, anhyzers, flex shots, it doesn't matter. Rollers, it's just it's a tremendous improvement to my repertoire. And it's just going to keep going up. I'm just going to stay positive, and I'm going to keep working my tail off.